Alright, so I just discovered a really easy way to farm the queen reactors using the photoelectronic cloak, and I managed to pull multiple reactors in just a few runs. If you don't know, these reactors sell for a lot of cash, and the method I'm using is actually really cheap to run, so even if you die, it's not a huge loss. Let me show you how this works. So the key item here is the photoelectronic cloak. When you activate it, it conceals you from arc enemies for a short duration, which means you can move around them without immediately getting targeted. This is extremely useful when fighting the queen, because it lets you reposition safely and focus on looting the armor pieces for queen reactors. The way you actually get queen reactors is by breaking pieces of the queen's armor. Every time you break one of those armor plates, there's a chance that a reactor will drop. So the goal here isn't just to kill the queen, it's to farm those armor pieces because that's where the money comes from. The loadout I'm using is pretty simple and still fairly cheap. I'm running an Anvil 4, blue shield, and survival augment. Now the important thing here is that all of this gear can actually be swapped for cheaper alternatives if you want to keep the risk even lower. The strategy itself doesn't depend on expensive gear. The photoelectronic cloak is doing most of the work here. For the cloak, you're going to need 2 advanced electrical components, 4 speaker components, and the utility station to be level 3. When I'm fighting the queen in raid, most players are usually sitting in cover and firing at the legs trying to break off armor pieces. That's the important part of this fight, because every time one of those armor plates break off, there's a chance for a reactor to drop. Normally I'll stay in cover with everyone else and focus those leg plates until one finally breaks. Once that armor piece breaks, it basically turns into a race. Everyone's waiting for the moment the queen loses aggro so they can run out and grab the broken pieces. If I push too early while the queen is still focused on me, I can get punished immediately. So most of the time players hesitate for a second, and that's usually when someone else manages to grab the first reactor. This is where the photoelectric cloak makes a huge difference for me. I can activate the cloak and walk out safely to a broken armor piece without pulling attention from the arc enemies. That lets me move earlier than everyone else and grab the reactor before anyone else leaves cover. So whenever an armor piece breaks, I just pop the cloak and go straight for it. Before you try this method, here are a few tips that help me make these runs a lot more consistent. First, if you find a stack of magnetic accelerators, those are actually worth more than a single queen reactor. So if you pick some up, make sure you put them in your safe pocket first before anything else. Second, if you're in a PvE lobby and everyone is fighting the queen together, don't be afraid to call out for a defib if you go down. Most players are there for the same fight, so people are usually willing to help each other out. Third, the photoelectric cloak doesn't make you invincible, it only hides you from arc enemies. That means you can still take damage and you can still get knocked if the queen stomps on you or if you get caught in an explosion. Fourth, bringing a radar hatch key can make extractions a lot safer and faster after the fight, especially if the area is still chaotic. And finally, make sure you bring extra meds and shield recharges. Because the queen fights can drag on for a while, and having extra meds makes a big difference. If you made it until the end of the video, like and subscribe for more Arc Raider guides.